You recently announced a new commission with former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. You're focusing on violent extremism. Tell us your strategy. What do you hope to achieve? I feel like we've been watching Tony Blair with his efforts for a long time, and I'm not sure that we're actually seeing any traction yet.
Well, I think the need is to develop a comprehensive strategy here. Look, this September 11th, it'll be 15 years since 9/11. And we've tended to approach terrorism on a crisis-by-crisis basis without ever taking the time to stand back and say, how are we truly going to defeat this threat to our security? So I think what Tony Blair and I want to do is to develop that kind of comprehensive strategy that looks at, yes, what's an effective military strategy, what's an effective diplomatic strategy, but also looks at the root causes for what attracts people to terrorism. I mean, we have seen terrorism metastasize from Al-Qaeda to ISIS, and now we're using social media is appealing to a lot of young people to join terrorist activities. We've got to develop a comprehensive strategy to deal with all aspects of terrorism if we're ever going to be able to truly defeat it.
And part of that is cyber. Part of that is, I guess, on the ground, the airstrikes. How would you characterize our efforts just in the last 2 years? I believe the airstrikes, in their 19th month, as it relates to ISIS?
I think, I think the president obviously decided the right mission, which is to defeat ISIS. And he's put some key elements in place, special forces, airstrikes, advisors, and trainers. I think the reality is we need to energize that effort. I'm pleased that the decision appears to have been made to move on Mosul. We have to be able to push ISIS out of the territory that it controls, both in Iraq and in Syria. If we're ever going to have a chance to defeat ISIS, we have got to push them out of the territory that they now control. And so the key here is going to be whether or not we can get the Iraqis and the Kurds to move effectively to be able to push ISIS out of Mosul and out of Iraq. That'll be the test of whether or not we are going to be able to defeat ISIS.
Mr. Secretary, we'll be watching. Wonderful to have you on the program this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon, Secretary. Secretary Leon Panetta.